All right, my next guest is one of my favorite people to talk MMA with, and of course, it is UFC bantamweight Tony Gravely. Tony, how are you?
Doing great, sir. How about yourself?
I'm good, man, and very happy to have you back on the show. You got a fight lined up September 18th at UFC Vegas 37 against Nate Maness. Before we dive into all that, I do want to recap your last fight. Impressive win, round two victory over Anthony Birchak. How pleased are you with the performance? I got to imagine you're feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, feels great. I mean, it's one of those things where I can see the progress. Like you see it in the gym, you see the progress of, how you're doing, and then when you go out and you actually get to show it, it's even better. So I'm finally getting to where I'm opening up enough to show everything that I'm doing in the gym because I do it every day. It's just go out in the fight and do the same thing. I've gotten that comfortability now. With all the great training partners and coaches that I have. So now, I just mirror what I do in the gym and everything's working out for me.
Tell me what the feedback was from your coaches from that fight with Birchak, both positive and negative. I'm sure they're always, looking to improve little things. What's some of the overall assessment that you got from your coaches from that fight?
It was good. Just the fact that from between now and the time that I've been when I first got to ATT, as far as fights go, just finally letting my hands go and not so much looking for big shots. It's just letting them go. And when they land, it's the ones that you don't think are gonna do the most damage are the ones that end up doing the damage. So as far as I know, it's been mostly good. Just doing, like I said, continuing to show everything that I do in the gym, now doing it in the cage. So it's been pretty good feedback as far as I know.
Now, did you have any added motivation or any type of, I don't know, extra juice going into that fight against Birchak? Because I don't want to say he was overlooking you, but he was very confident and felt like he was going to clearly get the win. Does that type of stuff bother you at all, or is it just business once the octagon door closes?
I mean, usually it doesn't really bother me. I like that people, for me, I like the fact that somebody's so confident because I get to crush it. I get to go out there and just eliminate all that confidence they had. And, it wasn't anything personal. It's a fight game. He should be confident in himself. And I want that. But honestly, I didn't believe everything that he was saying. The things that I heard about how, his confidence and how his wrestling was better than mine and all this other stuff. Like, I didn't believe what he said. I don't think he believed what he was saying. He's just trying to hype himself up. And, but at the end of the day, he's a tough opponent. And, I got nothing but respect for him. And, I hope he continues to fight, even though he's not in the UFC, I hope he continues to fight. And, he's been let go. He's came back. I mean, he can do that again or whatever he wants to do with his career. I hope he continues to succeed and continue to fight.
Yeah, well said. Did you guys get a chance to talk at all afterwards or no?
A little bit afterwards, I just, told him I respect him and, the journey that he's taken from being released and then coming back. And he said the same thing. He said that pretty much as far as I can remember that, that it was a tough fight and that he wished me luck going forward. So nothing but respect for him. He seems like a cool dude. So.
Very cool. Now, obviously, everyone knows you're down at one of the best gyms in the world at American Top Team in Florida. How are you and the wife? How's the family liking Florida now? I mean, you guys must be fully adjusted. Are you enjoying it all in all?
Yeah, it's still a little different, when you go from spending your entire life in like a small town with less people, less traffic, that Southern hospitality, it's a little different, coming here and, there's more people, there's more traffic and everybody's not as nice, but, I'm just trying to, the way I see it is I'm going to continue to be me. I'm not going to let it change me and like make me not as nice of a person. But at the end of the day, they're still good people. There's just a lot of people. So like the ones you run into, some may be a little not as nice. And it's just everybody's busy doing their own thing. Everybody's focused on themselves. No big deal. I don't take it personal anymore. I used to be like, man, that person's mean. Like they, that was like the things that they do, not holding the door and saying thank you. Like I just, could be that they weren't brought up that way. So I try not to hold it against them. I still hold the door, still say thank you, still use my manners. So that's all I can do. But as far as getting adjusted, it's still different. We're still getting acclimated. But as time goes on, we're getting more and more acclimated to it.
How close do you live to the gym? What's that commute like?
I live probably roughly like 20 to 25 minutes, depending on traffic. It's pretty easy. I don't have to take I-95, so I don't really run into a lot of traffic. Um, pretty, pretty smooth route as long as there's, no wrecks or, things like that. So it's not too bad. I usually I go there two times a day. So earlier in the morning, it's a little less. In the afternoon, it's more people, I'm assuming people are getting off work and stuff. So it's a little more traffic, but not that bad.
You're not doing anything else work related other than training, right? Like this is full time your job. There's nothing else that you're doing.
Yeah, so this is what I do for a living, and recently started helping Coach Mako with his wrestling club, which I enjoy because I used to do that at my old gym, and I miss the kids, and I miss like how like that relationship of helping somebody and helping take your mind off of your actual fighting but helping someone else do something. So I help with the wrestling, and now I do some wrestling privates with some kids, some one-on-one training. So that's good because like I said, it helps keep your mind off of your training, and now you're actually helping someone else. And also helps for me, what I like the most too is being around kids is not only the energy that they put out, they're always in a good mood, but it helps me hold myself accountable, as in like when I do things, making sure that I'm doing the things that I would want these kids to do if, when they grow up, and hopefully being a good role model for them and being the kind of person that their parents would like them to become.
Yeah, we all know that you're that guy. You're the role model that the parents want their kids to emulate. There's no doubt about that, man. Tell me a little bit about the training partners now at ATT. Has it changed at all, or are you still with pretty much the same guys?
Still pretty much the same guys. Every now and then some new guys come in, but still the same tough guys. Kyoji, Adriano, Pedro, Marlon, Ricky Bandejas, Juan Puerta, and then we got some guys that are up and comers like Sal Guerrero, Jason Eastman. A lot of tough guys. Mauricio Gomez. A lot of guys. You got your solid guys who everybody knows, and then you've got some up and comers. But no matter what, from the new guys onto the guys that everyone knows, they're all good. So anywhere in there, you're going to get good rounds. So I help them, they help me. And Alessandro Pantoja. There's a lot of names. I hate when I like forget, because there's so many. But it doesn't matter who you go with. There's going to be a productive round. It's going to be a hard round, and you're going to learn something.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord, a bunch of killers down there. Now, are you working a lot with Danny Sabatello as well, too?
And Danny as well. See, I forgot Danny. Danny as well. Danny's a stud, man. His game plan, the way he fights, is like perfect. He doesn't take any damage. He just controls, and he does damage. He's hard to go with. He's a tough dude.
Yeah, and he's a complete character too. He's a riot when I interview him. Is his personality outside of the cage when he's doing interviews? Is that what he's like inside the gym too? Give me a little bit of inside info.
He's completely different. Like I hear people say, like, man, he seems like a douche, but like, no, he's really cool. Like he's I try to explain. No, honestly, he's a super cool dude. He doesn't act anything like that. He's got his persona going on, and it's at the end of the day, it's. Some people enjoy stuff like that. I'm kind of quiet either way, like no matter what. But some people, it helps draw attention. It helps build. Whether you like that person or not, either you're gonna tune in to watch them win, or you're gonna tune in to hope they lose. But either way, he says it, but he backs it up. He backs it up. He brings it. So, but no, he's a nice dude. Really nice guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Anything else new in your life, man? Is everything just pretty much family, gym, training?
Pretty much the same. I mean, it's working out, spending time with my wife, with my kitties. So Yeah, it's pretty much been the same, same old, same old, same old grind.
Yes, sir. I want to get a few fight picks from you, man. I am salivating at a few of these fights that are going to be happening later on this year. Most notably, a couple of title rematches. You got the welterweight rematch between Covington and Usman. Middleweight, they haven't announced the date yet, but between Izzy and Whitaker. I mean, you got Volkanovski and Ortega around the corner, Jan and Sterling eventually. There's so many great fights that are coming. Which one or two stands out the most to you that you're looking forward to?
I think the two that I care about am most excited about is John and Sterling, and Volkanovski and Ortega. So I'm always gonna think the little guys are, I honestly try not to be biased, but I think the smaller guys, it's more technical of a fight. There's more athleticism involved, more technique. I think all around, smaller guys produce more exciting fights. And obviously that's closer to my weight class too. So, but I'm excited about those two fights the most.
Give me some fight picks. Who are going to win those two fights?
I think Jan's going to win again. Well, I thought he won the first time, obviously other than the knee and that whole thing. But I don't think it's going to be much different from that. I think it's going to be about the same. I think Volkanovski is going to beat Ortega. He's just a stud. He's a tank, and I don't see Ortega being able to give him something that he hasn't already felt. And he's beat Max Holloway. Is it twice? They fought twice, right? Mm-hmm. He's beat Max Holloway twice. So it's hard to bet against that.
What was your takeaway from the Jake Paul Woodley fight? Did you watch it?
It's so frustrating because especially as a fighter, you want to see the real fighter win, like Tyron Woodley or whoever else he's fighting. You want to see that person win because, I don't know, Jake Paul, just his personality, it's not martial arts like, as a fighter, you look at fighting, whether it's boxing or MMA, from a martial arts standpoint for most of the time, if you practice it, and just everything he does isn't that. And it's almost like it makes people think, almost it takes the credibility away from a real fighter and what it takes. People think that they can just start training and just all of a sudden just skyrocket and beat all these people, which, I mean, that's fine, but it's okay to believe that and really believe in yourself. But I think it almost takes credibility away from, people that grind every day, that fight for a living. But that fight is so frustrating to watch because obviously I wanted Woodley to win. And if he would just let his hands go, if he just put his foot on the pedal, pressure him, stay in the pocket, I feel like things are going a little different. But he seemed, hesitant to throw. He's got bombs. Like, why not let him go? He just kind of was hesitant. Frustrating to watch him get just touched and outboxed.
Yeah, well, it looks like a rematch might happen because he's going to get the I Love Jake Paul tattoo somewhere on his body, and then the rematch will happen. Who knows? We'll see what transpires moving forward. Let's talk about your fight with Nate Maness, UFC Vegas 37, obviously at the Apex. You're not going to be in some big screaming arena with a bunch of fans that are going nuts. Is that disappointing to you? Were you hoping to be in front of a lot of fans, or are you excited to be at the Apex?
It's kind of bittersweet. I mean, I was hoping at this point, it seemed like they were starting to open back up in Vegas, and you saw some fights where they had some fans. And I wish, at least it could have been like the Contender Series where, you get a limited amount of people to come. Every fighter got a certain amount of tickets. So I was hoping it would be like that. At least, my parents and my close family and friends could have came. But, I guess it's not like that. So, but it's okay because I like the Apex. I like that. I like that I can hear my coaches. I can hear everything, and it makes the fight. If you are someone that gets nervous from people, then it's different. It's like being in the gym. It's like just like you would if you were sparring in the gym, but it's obviously real. So it's yes and no, bittersweet. And I would like to have some fans and get to experience that again, especially because my only UFC fight where I got to experience fans, it was only one UFC fight where I got to experience fans. But luckily, it was like the perfect scenario other than me not winning, But I'm undefeated in the Apex, so I'm ready to keep the streak going.
Now, I imagine you'll have Mike Brown in your corner. If not, like, who do you plan on having there in your corner come fight night?
So usually, my every fighter has a coach in charge. So my coach in charge is Steve Bruno, and I'm also going to have Coach Bahumpa in my corner along with my wife. So those are going to be my three corners. But I do work with Mike Brown a lot. I work with all the coaches a lot. There's so many coaches, and I just try to pick everyone's brain. That's as a mixed martial artist, it's mixed martial arts. So everybody's got something they're good at. I work with every coach pretty consistently throughout the week. So I'm always learning something from this coach, from this coach, and this coach. But there are always some coaches that their styles kind of stick to you better. And Coach Bruno, his style really sticks to me better. It's more of a pressure and volume, but also good defense. And I think that fits really well with me because I'm not a runner. I don't shy away from fights. I want to be right in the middle of it. So his style has really helped me, and I can feel the improvements. And I think that's why last fight I was a lot more comfortable on my feet and let my hands go more and had some good results.
Yeah, very well said. And obviously, we knew that your wife would be in your corner. How many coaches are there at ATT? I mean, it seems like there's quite a few to choose from.
There's probably maybe like 10 or maybe even more than 10. There's a lot of coaches between a bunch of striking coaches, anything you think of, striking, grappling, wrestling, just Muay Thai, just boxing. So, and then coaches that actually, that specifically specify in MMA, mixing it all together. So there's there's a ton of coaches, and I feel like some people come to a big gym and they feel like they're not getting attention. At American Top Team, I really think that it's impossible for you to come there and not get attention with so many coaches. As long as you're showing that you're worth putting your time into, meaning you do the best you can, you work as hard as you can. You'll always have somebody there to help you and help you evolve.
Yeah, one of the best gyms on planet Earth, no doubt about it. All right, Nate Maness, he's 13-1. He's coming off a round 2 RNC over Luke Sanders, his last fight. As I told you before we went live here, I was looking at the fight odds, and you're a slight favorite here for this fight. And maybe the casual fan, someone that doesn't pay attention to it as much as an MMA junkie would, might look at his record and say, oh, well, Tony's the underdog in this fight because this guy is 13-1. What do you think of this stylistic matchup with Maness, and how do you feel your style is going to be able to get the better of him come fight night?
Yeah, I think in the past I would say, oh, this would be a tricky fight because I used, if you look at me like maybe 1-2 years ago, fighting longer fighters was an issue. Just getting in, having trouble getting in, and things like that used to be an issue for me. But, after being here at American Top Team and getting those looks from longer bodies and coaches that specialize in getting in, it's not a disadvantage anymore, and I think that I'm sure that he thinks that, and, his coaches and stuff probably think that that's his advantage and they think that his boxing is probably his advantage. But that's the only advantage he has is length, but I don't think that's an advantage, as far as it goes. I think he's a good striker. He's good straight punches, good boxing. But people underestimate my striking because of my wrestling. I think that I'm just a wrestler. And like I said, a year or two ago, maybe that was the case, but now it's different. I'm good everywhere. And I think that my striking's better than his. I know my wrestling's better than his. My grappling's better than his. And the more I train here at American Top Team, the more dangerous I get. And I don't think there's a safe place for him.
How does this fight end? Are you looking for a finish here? Do you feel like a win and a stoppage win over Maness here is going to be kind of like your coming out party in the UFC?
Yeah, I think I'm always looking for a finish. I mean, in the past, my first half of my career, if you look back at all my fights, first half of the career was my phase of, taking people down, laying on them, just wanting to win. But, my past 10 fights or so, I finish people. That's what I do. I finally flipped that switch of it's no longer just winning. I wanted to be dominant. I want to generate as much pain as I can, as much volume as I can to stop them, whether it's striking or grappling, doesn't matter. I push the pace, and I think it's a pace that a lot of people can't take, and they get frustrated, they get overwhelmed, and whether doesn't matter how the finish comes. I know it's going to come, and whatever, I just produce enough volume, pressure until something opens up. And if something doesn't open up, I'll make something open up, and then I'll get a finish.
I love it. I love the, I mean, you're not saying I'm going to finish him in the first, second, or third. You're just saying it's going to come. I'm going to get the finish before the fight is out. I love that confidence. If you do get this finish and you beat Maness and you give him his second loss here, how far away does that make you from a top 15 fight in the bantamweight division? You got to be kind of close, I'd say, right?
I'm not sure. I would like to say yes, but I really don't know. I kind of take it one fight at a time. Whoever's put in front of me, my job is to blow through that person. And I truly believe in my mind that I'm already a top 15 fighter. But there's so many bantamweights. It may take some time for me to go through a couple of guys that also could be ranked. The guys there are plenty of guys that are not ranked that could also be ranked. That's how wide this weight class is, how stacked it is. So, it could take maybe another year to go through these other guys that are right on the cusp of it, or I could next year get a ranked opponent and win and become a ranked fighter myself. So, I'm just kind of taking it one fight at a time, just trying to get better every day, and prove my worth and prove that I'm here to stay and that I'm a threat for the bantamweight division.
Yeah, it really is such a stacked division. I mean, bantamweight is as good as it's ever been, in my opinion. Last question for me before I let you go, man. Can we plan to see you fight again after this fight before the end of 2021, or do you feel like after this fight we might not see you until 2022?
I'm really hoping that after this fight I get another fight. So I would love to fight one more time for the year. So hopefully I can go in there and maybe get a quick finish and get back on, get back scheduled really quick. So we'll see. But my goal is to be more active, and I hope that it can be before the end of the year, and best case also beginning of next year. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, very good. Well, Tony, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, my man. Tony Gravely will meet Nate Maness on September the 18th at UFC Vegas 37. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
All right. On social media, it's Tony Gravely 135 on Twitter and Instagram. If you can give me some likes, that'd be great. I'd like to thank my coaches at American Top Team. Everybody that helps me, my teammates, my practice partners, my wife. First of all, she's always with me. She's in my corner, helping me prepare. Mentally, she's making sure I eat the correct things. My family, my parents, my wife's parents, both of my groups of parents, they both equally support me, and I'm just appreciative of all that support that I get from them, and everybody that continues to support me from back home, from across the world. And thank you for this interview.